Plymouth shooting. Police say 3-year-old girl among the 5 shot dead by Jake Davison. For those of you who haven't heard already of this tragedy that happened, I believe it was Thursday night. I believe it happened on Thursday night or Thursday during the daytime. It's been reported on Friday. We need to have a discussion right now, because this young man, Jake Davison, identifies himself, whichever one you want to put it around, with the black pill incel community. And for those of you who don't know what black pill is giving up on life. I'm too short, my facial structure is not strong enough, my junk in the trunk is not big enough. I don't have what it takes to attract women off the rip. And there are certain channels, and you know what, I'm going to call him out right now. Wheat Waffles, Mr. Waffler. I have called you out on numerous occasions for your frankly dangerous content. It's dangerous. And you're going to say to me, oh, but it's real. I'm basing off it. You are a tuhfa. You know nothing about the art of seduction. You are a baby who knows nothing about the art of seduction. I've called you out many times and I will call you out again. But we digress. I'll have a word for you at the end of this video. We're going to get into this article. I've copied and pasted it onto a Word document because it's a real tragedy, man. And then I have a message for you young men who feel like giving up on life as well. Okay, so stay with me. Davison, 22, is believed to have known people living on Biddick Drive in the Keyham area of the city, where he shot dead 5 people and injured 2 others before turning the gun on himself. A 3-year-old was among those shot dead by a gunman who killed 4 other people in Plymouth before shooting himself, police have said. Jake Davison, 22, first shot dead a 51-year-old woman on Biddick Drive in Keyham on Thursday evening. The 51-year-old woman was his own mother. It was his own mother. He then killed the girl and a 43-year-old male relative in the same road before shooting at 2 residents, a man aged 33 and a 53-year-old woman. Both received significant injuries that are not currently believed to be life-threatening. Davison then entered a nearby park where he killed a man aged 59 before shooting a woman aged 66 on Henderson Palace. She later died in Derriford Hospital, police said. Davison was reported dead at 6:23 p.m., just minutes after the police were alerted. Man. Speaking at a press conference earlier, the police chief constable Sean Sawyer said that the first woman Davison killed at the address on Biddick Drive. It was his mother. I've been through that already. Okay, all right. Let's get past all of this factual details. Let's just keep going down. It's not yet clear whether the suspect knew the rest of the victims, but Chief Constable Sawyer said Davison, who lived locally, knew people on that street. We believe we have an incident that is domestic related and has spilled out into the street and seen several people within Plymouth losing their lives in an extraordinarily tragic circumstance. We've never in my time had homicide followed by a rampaging firearms attack on random members of the public and then taking one's life. That's what happens when you preach a message of hopelessness, wheat waffles. You see, the problem with your channel, my friend, and I resent myself for giving you this exposure right now. I resent myself because I know there's going to be guys who follow me who are going to type your name and follow your content who are already feeling slightly hopeless, and then you consolidate their hopelessness. But you need to be called out because you put up a post yesterday absolving yourself from all responsibility. I have nothing to do. You are intimately tied to this. Your type of content is intimately, inextricably tied to actions like this. Don't you dare try and absolve yourself. Don't you dare, you coward. You hiding behind a camera screen, behind a camera coward. You don't even show your face. If you were truly confident in your message, you'd put your face out there for the world to see. But no, you don't. You hide behind a camera screen, or behind a screen, I should say. You coward. And then content like yours perpetuates and consolidates the hopelessness in the minds of young men. And then we have extreme cases like this. That's what happens when you produce black pill, doom pill, hopelessness, give up on life content like yours. Let's keep on going. He described the shootings as truly shocking and said they had been witnessed by members of the public who he urged to seek support. He said Davison had a firearms license in 2020 and there was no motive at present, and the weapon, which witnesses described as a pump-action shotgun, was recovered from the scene. Multiple shots were fired in a 6-minute period before Davison turned the gun on himself and before officers were able to engage with him. Police are now collecting evidence across multiple crime scenes, the chief constable added. There are some 13 scenes and potentially more, he said. There are therefore 5 people of Plymouth who have lost their lives overnight, and Mr. Davison himself, including a particularly young child, a 3-year-old kid, man. Police confirmed all of those involved died from gunshot wounds. In videos shared online just weeks before the massacre, he spoke of being beat down and defeated by life. Look, to the young men watching right now, life is hard, especially as a man. Especially as a man. It is, okay, let me make this categorically clear. It is harder as a man in this world than it is being a woman in this world. For the simple reason that the burden of performance is heaped and expected upon men. And that's okay, we've been designed for it. But it doesn't stop it from being hard. Women just be, women just are. Women are born and they have value right off the rip. Men don't have that. Men must become. They have to become. Then they will be valued by the world. And that's hard. That is called the burden of performance. So I know it's hard. I know it's hard to the young man watching right now who's feeling hopeless himself. But what are your options, my friend? Give up and do something like this? That's not a great option. Take that anger that you feel inside. It's a nuclear fuel. You can use it to power a city, or you can use it to destroy it. You can use it to raise a city to the ground, just like this young man did. Take that nuclear fuel and channel it, direct it towards your work, your studies. Maybe you have a passion project that you're working on, a YouTube channel, I don't know. But there's something that you enjoy. Maybe you're a gamer and you're good at it. Channel it, because it's nuclear. And if you don't channel it, if you don't take that energy and fuel the city, it will be used to raise the city to the ground, to level it completely, to create destruction, just like this young man. Davison, I should say, who posted on a YouTube channel under the name Professor Waffle. No wonder why you're being linked to this, Wheat Waffles. It's clear that his YouTube channel name is a spin-off off of yours. A spin-off off of your hopelessness. And I'm calling you out publicly, my friend. And I've called you out publicly in the past, and you have conveniently stayed silent. Let's chop it up on a live, big man. If you're so confident in your position, show your face. Stop being a coward. Davison, who posted on a YouTube channel under the name Professor Waffle, said he did not have any willpower to do anything anymore. And let's just watch this recording real quick.
No, I can't. I'm so beaten down and defeated by life. That drive that I once had, that's gone, man. You know, I try, and I always keep trying. But it's like, I'm at the point now where it's like, why do I even bother? Like, for what? You know? I'm still in the same house, same situation, same position. Still, everything's still the same.
Let me just speak on that for a moment, guys. Change takes time. This young man here was 22. 22 as a man, you are at your lowest value to the sexual marketplace. You've achieved nothing. Women are, for the most part, uninterested in you because your competition is older, more successful, established men who have more years under their belt. And that's absolutely fine. You're at that stage in your life. There's no shame in that. Change takes time, not weeks, not months, years of shining that magnifying glass at the same spot, your craft, your passion, your work, your studies, whatever it is, for years. And then the ice starts to melt. I know it's long, I know, but that's the reality. You're too young to be complaining about giving up at 22 because you haven't had enough runway yet. You're right at the start of your life.
Most part, it's just been me against the world. It's just been me fighting an uphill battle with a big rock on my back, you know, while I'm seeing that don't deserve half of anything. Now they're getting a free road to the top.
I don't know what he's referring to there. He's seeing other people who don't deserve half of anything get a free ride to the top. But this is clear envy. This is clear envy. Maybe he's seen a friend or a couple of friends who have done well with a business or online or something, and he resents them for it. Guys, envy can destroy you. It can destroy you. You need to take, look, we all suffer from the pangs of envy. Don't get it twisted. It's a case of how do you go about expressing it. You can't, that initial feeling, that initial experience that you have, Robert Greene talks about this extensively in his book, The Laws of Human Nature. You can't help that initial pang, that initial feeling. After that, you get to choose what to do with it. You get to choose how to direct it. It's in your hands. And you need to choose to take that feeling and apply it to whatever you are doing so that you can level up, so that your life situation can improve, so that you can become a better person or that your situation can improve. But you're too young at 22 to be complaining about how life is so hard. You haven't had a long enough runway. You haven't shined the magnifying glass long enough at that same spot, my friend. Be patient. Please, Habibi, be patient.
The whole premise of the Terminator movies is that, you know, everything's rigged against you. There's no hope for humanity. You know, we're on the brink of extinction. You know, these machines are unstoppable, killing machines that can't be beaten, can't be outsmarted. But yet, humanity still tries to fight to the end. And I know it's a movie, but you know, I like to think sometimes, you know, Terminator or something. Despite you know, reaching almost total system failure, keeps trying to.
Hey, listen, if thinking that you're the Terminator does it for you, and you know humanity, the success of humanity lies on your shoulders, man, you run with that. Run with that. Whatever it takes for you to continue putting one step forward in front of the next, one step forward in front of the other. Because, my friend, you don't have any other options. Newsflash. You don't have any other options. The only other option is to give up. And then at the extreme scenario, the extreme end, this. That's your options. That's not an option. Keep moving your feet forward and be patient over a period of years, not months, not weeks, years. I know this microwave culture that we live in would have you believe that success is achieved overnight. It is not. It is not. It's a lie. There is no such thing as microwave success. It takes time. 10 years. 10 years. That's the time frame you've got to put in your head. In several clips, as you've just seen, he referred to, well, he didn't refer to in this clip, but he referred to the incels, an abbreviation online for involuntary celibacy. The online subculture that involves men who are unable to find a romantic or sexual partner despite desiring one, often expressing hostility and extreme resentment towards those who are sexually active, as you can see, particularly women. Now, there's something to say on this. I don't have the stats to hand, but I have heard on other reputable podcasts that there are more virgin men in the world today than there has been for the longest amount of time. I don't know if it's recorded history but there are more virgin men today than ever. Why? Because the girls, everyone's online on the internet. Everyone's got an Instagram account, and the girls are seeking out the highest value men possible. A girl who once lived in some next random remote village in wherever, now if she has an internet connection, she can still hook up with the local celebrities if she's beautiful enough. It's the bottom line. If she's got the looks for it, they will fly her out and she can get out there. So there are more incels, or whatever it was, I should say. There are more virgin men who are not sexually active today than ever. Couple that with the porn pandemic that we have. Porn is so easily accessible nowadays, which is a sedation. It sedates you. Porn is it sedates you, puts you to sleep. It stops you from going out and actually improving yourself so that you can get what you really want, and instead you sedate yourself with this drug called porn. And then you couple that with the fact that we have a lost boys generation. Most young men today don't have a purpose. Couple that again, how we're coupling with so many things, that so many young men today are being raised without a strong male role model in their life, without a strong father figure in their life. And you have a recipe for destruction. Although saying he did not clarify himself as an incel, Davison talked about people similar to me have had nothing but themselves. YouTube confirmed in a statement that the account on their platform run by Davison has now been terminated as it violates our offline behavior policy. Okay. Chief Constable Sayer said police are not considering terrorism or a relationship with any far-right group or any other such group. Why are you not considering terrorism? I thought the very word terrorism implies someone has inflicted terror upon the masses. I am quite sure that poor helpless 3-year-old child was terror-stricken. Why is this not terrorism, please tell me? Oh, because he's not brown. Oh, because he doesn't say La ilaha illallah. My bad. My apologies. Stupid me. Of course this is terrorism. I want you to look at the face of this young man. To the young men who watch my channel, who follow my content, who absorb my content, look at the face of this young man. He looks, not only does he look so troubled, disturbed, but this could be you if you consume content. And the mind is so malleable. The mind, there's a great book by Sadgard. Be careful with that book from a perspective of, there's a lot of atheist stuff thrown in there. But he talks about the parasitic mind, how the mind is essentially parasitic and it can be molded this way or that with great ease. It's the title of the book, The Parasitic Mind. And when you consume content by the waffler, Wheat Waffles, and other such content creators who create this destructive, hopeless content, he's a tuhfa, he's a child, he's a little kid. He's like 19 or 20. He knows nothing about relationships, nothing at all, other than factual stuff that he sees. He doesn't understand the art of seduction. He hasn't had enough practice. He doesn't want to practice. He just wants to stick with hard. This is the problem with intellectuals. This is the problem with intellectuals. And this is where you get yourself in trouble, is you take hard facts and you just leave it at that. You don't understand the art of seduction. You don't understand how to seduce a human being, that we are actually feeling-oriented creatures. But you don't get it. And then you perpetuate this dangerous message. And then other young men see, oh, 60% don't know, 70%, well, that makes sense. Yes, but you don't understand the art of seduction. Fine, you're on the back foot, you're shorter, you might not have as many options available to you. Try harder, run faster. And I will show you a few snapshots that I have received from some of the people who follow me. Have a look at this. This was a response to one of my stories, to you black pill guys. This was a response to it. This young man, I've kept him anonymous. He said, you can use this when you make your video, but I'm 5'7". and I have successfully attracted marriage prospects from young, beautiful girls of multiple heights, ranging from 5'2", 5'3", 5'4", 5'6", 5'7", and even 5'9". I'm 25, but I was already in sports and fitness since I was 13. Oh, self-improvement. Get your body looking right. Wheat waffles. I've watched all of your content. You don't work out. You don't strive and aspire to improve, and yet you are trying to teach men about life or about relationships. You are a loser. That's what you are. That's why you hide behind your camera, because you're a loser and you know it. And then you come out here teaching the men like you got something to share. Bro, shut your mouth. But I was already in sports and fitness since I was 13 and was able to attract these women in my earlier 20s. Sounds like a man who's on his purpose to me. Sounds like a man who's definitely all about that self-improvement life. Masculinity trumps everything. And in my experience, it's usually average height and tall girls that are humble. It's always the 5'2" chick wanting a 6'3" lad. That's funny. So he should accept his height and build himself and ignore these black-pilled losers. I mean. Oh, but wait. It doesn't stop there. I had another response to my story by this young man, whom again I've kept anonymous. Bruh, I'm 5'4". 5'4". And that shit not getting to me. You can't use height as an excuse. If anything, make it a reason to push harder. And let's just be clear here. This young man is not unattractive. He's not ugly. Look at him. He's got a symmetrical, strong jawline, symmetrical face. He looks good looking. He's a good looking young man. But his mind is poisoned. His mind is unattractive. And that infects others. You infect people. Emotions are infectious. I spoke about this before. You can infect people with laughter. You can infect them with sadness. Why do they use canned laughter on comedy skits? Because laughter is infectious. If you hear someone laugh, you're more inclined to laugh. When you see an actor crying on a movie and he starts getting all emotional and he starts shedding tears, or she starts shedding tears, suddenly you start welling up with tears. Why? Because infections are emotions are infectious. Equally, you saw the clip that I showed you of this young man. He has an infectious personality or way of thinking in the way of repelling people away from him. He infects others with his doom and gloom, and other people pick up on that and don't want to be around that. That's the problem with the black pill, the doom pill. This guy doesn't even fit the bill for that, for the black pill, doom pill guys who say, I'm too short, I don't know what this guy's height was, but it's clear his face was good looking enough. And still, there's no excuse. It's your mind. Your mind. You fill your mind with crap, guess what? Crap comes out. Remember, the mind is parasitic. It can be influenced this way or that way. If you watch that social media Netflix, what was it called? I can't remember the name of the program, the documentary about social media on Netflix. It talks about how if you consume too much of one type of content, the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, will suggest more and more similar type content, and you will end up brainwashing yourself. Even if the content is good, solid content, you still need to have a balance of opposing content to sharpen your ideas and understanding. But this becomes especially dangerous with this black pill doom or nonsense. Wheat waffles, you have been called out. I will tag you. You have been called out. I am calling you out. Let's talk. Put your face on the camera, you coward. You doomer coward. And I will end on this. This young man, Jake Davison, guess what? He was raised without a father.
نار نار سنفجرها برصاصنا نمحوها العار مهلا يا